Metaphysics. I believe this is episode 4, and we are doing the law of polarity today. So, yet another Hermetic principle, talking about poles. Polarity. Okay, first up, let me explain the change of scenery because it's different. So, yes, I'm not in my apartment in the city, I'm in my home in Jersey. So, welcome to this. And I also have some guests in the background that will be hiding and occasionally laughing and chiming in different little anecdotal
Hello, everyone.
little doodles over here. They're gonna just be my hype squad, and you probably won't see them at all, but you might hear them. So just prefacing that. But let's talk about it. All right. So first few episodes, we've obviously been talking about the Hermetic principles, the universal laws, right? We've gone through the principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, the principle of vibration, and now we're talking about polarity, okay? So I've also kind of shown you how to apply these principles to your practical everyday life. I'm going to do the same thing with polarity. After this, I think I'm going to start switching it up because the rest of the universal laws become a bit redundant, and I will, tell you to go read the Kabbalion yourself to, see how they correspond with one another. They overlap. There's information that correlates through the rest of the laws. But if you want me to keep going with them, I'll keep going. But I'm thinking I'm going to bring a different topic next week. So this is going to be one of the last episodes about the Hermetic principles. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Polarity. What is polarity?
What is polarity? Okay, so the Hermetic principle of polarity. Let's speak about that. Let me not cough. Hold on.
Hydration, very important.
Hydrate, guys. Okay, basically the principle of polarity is speaking about non-duality and oneness at the same time. What? How can you be non-one and one? And okay, so there's a dual nature of life, but there's also a oneness of life. And polarity, the Hermetic principle of polarity kind of shines a light on that. And of course, we're going to get into the science of it, how you can see that applied differently in the physical nature world, right? But let me read you the actual law. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. So it automatically reminds me of Newtonian law. Everything has an equal but opposite reaction. So right there, we're throwing in the science, a physics law that has been scientifically proven that everything has an equal but opposite reaction, right? This creates a sense of dynamic tension and balance in the universe. It serves as a catalyst for growth and evolution, because if we know that there are two sides to everything and we're on this side, that serves for the potential to grow towards this end. So just understanding the concepts of poles and something having two extremities helps us understand that we can evolve, we can grow. If we're on that side, we can go on that side. It's the same fucking thing. We just gotta move that way, okay? So allowing us to further comprehend this dual nature of the universe. Yeah, hot and cold, sure, but what is it? Temperature. The same thing. Two sides of one coin, the extreme, two sides of the coin, right? Heads or tails, it's still a fucking quarter. The poles, the polarity nature of the universe. So showing us that yes, it's hot and cold. Yes, it's up and down. Yes, it's left and right. Yes, there's opposites, but they're opposites of the same thing. It's non-dual. It's dual. There's two. There's opposites, but they're of the same thing. So again, highlighting that non-duality, that oneness in the universe. It's still all a part of one thing.
The same value.
The same values. The same energy. It reminds me of the electromagnetic spectrum of energy. We're on one end all the way down, really low frequency, buzzing hums, comes out as radio waves. On the other end, super extreme, can kill you in an instant. It's called a gamma ray. So electromagnetic spectrum, same shit, same energy, different frequency, different wavelength, okay? Dual, but non-dual. And that's essentially the law of polarity. All right, so moving forward, can I see chat here? I want to see, let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, because that wasn't there before. So now if you guys have questions, you could drop them in there and I could get to them. Yeah, let's talk about really what I wanted to do. There's so many aspects. Like we can keep going about the dual natures of the universe, the masculine, the feminines, the yings, the yangs, you know, everything that will be attributed to the masculine and you know, opposite to everything that is attributed to the feminine. There's so many dualities in the universe that we can talk about. But I think that you get it. What I really want to do is highlight the law of polarity as it applies to yourself, right? To your own fucking day-to-day, living your life, feeling like shit one day, feeling great the other day, and understanding that you're a pole. You have two sides, you have two extremes, right? And on any given day, you can choose on what side of that extreme to lean towards. So basically talking about lights and shadows, as they would be called in New Age philosophy, essentially your positive, most beneficial attributes and your shittiest, most piece of crap attributes that make you, like, you know, not the funnest person to be around. And understanding that duality of yourself, just like everything else in nature has an equal but opposite, so do we. It just allows us to check ourselves. That's a phrase that I'm often really, you know, excited to emphasize with my clients, because it really is about checking yourself. We're accustomed to live a lifestyle that is like, oh, because of this, that happened. And, you know, very cause and effect, which is another law. We already know that, right? And that is true. That is a natural law of the universe, cause and effect. But sometimes we're the cause. It's not external stuff all the time. Oftentimes, if we move back to the first law of mentalism, all is mind, we're the fucking drivers. We're in the driver's seat. So oftentimes it is our mental state, our extremity, our polarity that can literally just be adjusted to fit where we need to fit, to manifest what we need to manifest. Because again, going back to mentalism, and I've said this 1,000 times, but if you're in a certain mind state trying to manifest something like money is the root of all evil, but I'm also trying to be a millionaire, how is that supposed to pop off? You're not energetically in alignment with that end goal that you're trying to do. So, you know, at the end of the day, you're staying on one side of the pole, and it's just not conducive. So I wanted to talk about that. And there's some stuff that I share. If you guys don't know, I have a TikTok page, so you might want to go over there, Electric Wellness on TikTok, because I share a lot more numerology stuff there. And this is something that I love to dive into with clients, specifically the shadows and the light aspects of your numbers, your numerology. And we're always like the Virgos, the zodiac signs, and cool, copy. I love me some astrology too. We can get into that. But there's something really profound about numerology that I find helps people check themselves. Okay, I'm gonna give you an easy example because it's off the top of my dome, and because it's about me. So I'm a number 7. I'm a power number 7, also known as the day of birth number 7, somebody who was born on the 7th, the 16th, or, you know, any other day of the month that adds up to 7. I can't do math right now. So basically a 7's light attributes or positive attributes, their characteristics, their powers, the gifts that they come into this world innately with are the gifts of intuitive insight, of academia, of science, of religion and spirituality. They're able to break down those concepts really well. Okay, they're able to understand any given concept and apply it or teach it and share it. Right. Hence why I do what I do. I'm just in here living my 7 life. Now, on the flip side, on the negative shadow aspect of it, 7s have a tendency to be isolated. That's why I cancel my lives all the time. No, let me stop. They have a tendency to be aloof, skeptical, sarcastic, removed, unemotional, and yeah, kind of like a bitch. So like that's the vibe. So you're either super smart and teaching everybody and being absolutely helpful, or you're like, leave me the fuck alone. I live in the forest, in the cave. Damn you. So it's a very different juxtaposition, but knowing that, having that ability to be able to check myself, like, oh, okay, I'm in my dark aspects right now, my shadow elements of my number 7, of my power number. I'm able to be like, okay, whoops, my bad. Let me like whatever, ground, sniff a fucking peppermint essential oil, do the things that I need to do, use my tools, take a walk, just separate myself real quick as a number 7. And each number, each personality type, each zodiac sign, whatever it is that you want to dive into, each individual has their own way of coming back to balance. So for a number 7, they would really do well with seeking seeking isolation in places of nature. So taking a walk in the park, by the river, just hanging out, you know, in some solitude underneath a tree, on the street, at the fucking bench. Those are the types of things that are going to help align a number 7's energy, bringing me back into balance, bringing me more into my helper, educator, teacher, you know, mystic, student energy, as opposed to my ignore me, I'm a witch in the cave energy. So yeah, what number are you? 4.
4.
So for example, a power number 4. So anybody born on the 4th day of the month, or any days that add up to 4, like 31, and any of the ones in between that I can't do the math on. 4s are like your square, right? They're very fundamental. They're very grounded. They would be like what I would call the administrative assistants of the world. They keep shit in check, literally. They keep shit in check. They do what you gotta do when you gotta do it. They keep the world running, and thank God for a number 4, because we would all be asked if we didn't have 4s. 4s are like the accountants, the bankers, the logistic people, the people who create foundational systems, operations, literally, right? Operations team. So you see, that's very in alignment for a number 4. Definitely doing the thing. But at the same time, the polarity, the other side of a number 4 can be dull, boring, stuck in their box, right? Almost rigid, because it's like this is how it is. This is what needs to be happen. These are the fundamental building blocks. Yeah, super controlling. And that's why it's rigid. Because I don't want to move out of this thing that I have perfectly fucking planned. It's perfect. It's going to come out aces. Super high expectations that are hard to meet.
Yeah.
Because you guys are the hard workers. You're the workers of the numerology team. So overworking, right? Putting too much effort into the job as opposed to yourself. 4s have a problem with that as well. Overworking, hardworking, and not considering family life. But on the flip side, back to their light elements, a family is absolutely fundamental to a number 4.
Foundation.
That's a part of their foundations. They need it, right? So just, you know, feeling into the polarity of who you are helps us for ourselves, right? Like, cool, yeah, hot, cold, up, down, great. The universe is full of opposites. I love it, right? But what the fuck does that do for you? Feeling into the polarity of yourself and understanding your personality traits, your characteristics. It could be numerology that you dive into. That's what I use with my clients, astronumerology to be specific. It could be a Myers-Briggs personality test that you take, right? It could be one of the Carl Jungian archetypal psychology types that resonate with you. Whatever it is, I want you to find out who you are at a fundamental level. It could be you getting a soul map reading with me, shameless plug. I don't know. Whatever it is, I want you to find out, figure out who you are at a fundamental soul level. Here's a quick thing. What used to inspire passion in you when you were a kid? Those are usually indicators of our light, of our aspects that are the most positive. As a child, we're not as fucked up by the world yet. So we think more innocently and more honestly. and more truthfully to ourselves. So if you're figuring out who am I really? Like, what do I really like? Well, what did you like when you were a kid? That ass. I like magic and unicorns. And there was this game that I used to play that was like a magic 8 ball. Like, I forgot what it was called, but it was popping. And I would pretend that I was psychic. And now
I mean, traveling.
now I'm doing the seven life, the life of the spiritual master. So very in alignment, right? But also sharing that, because there was a possibility that I could just have been super aloof and isolated with my information, with the knowledge, and just been like, and I was like that for a long time. I think now in my late 30s, I'm finally starting to be like, fuck it.
Love your 30s.
Right?
Love it.
Loving the 30s. Not about to be out of my 30s. Shh.
Couple years.
Couple more years. What's next? What's next on the polarity thing? I had some notes. Bear with me. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. A lot of people don't do shadow work. They're very stuck in the love and light aspect of spirituality. We're getting better. But back in the days when when I had already been doing this for far way too long and people was just starting to jump on the bandwagon, there was a lot of toxic positivity. There still is. But there was a lot of just think good thoughts and it would just go away. It's just gonna go away. It's just gonna go away. Don't worry about it. Just be happy. That's not realistic. That's not real. And that's spiritual bypassing. That's toxic positivity. That's not allowing yourself to be aware of the both spectrums of polarity of yourself, the polarity that is you, and just trying to fuck around and do half the work. Do half the work is what you're doing. You're like, no, I'm just gonna be love and light, and then I'm just gonna talk to angels and stuff, and then I'm gonna be like a millionaire. It doesn't work like that. You have to go through the dark night of the soul for any type of growth or anything like that to pop off. What means is, I'm not trying to tell you that you have to suffer and have a horrible life to be a better person. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that it behooves you to understand the polarity that is yourself. What are your negative aspects? Don't fucking play yourself. They're there. They're there. Understand them. Use them to your benefit, right? Because the isolation and the aloofness and the sarcasm, those are all like negative things, right? But when I need to heal, recharge, the isolation is my savior, a gift, a part of me, a shadow element, when not used correctly, when not applied in the right moments, when I use it emotionally, without awareness, without thought, right? I'm just going to hide myself in the rest of the world because I don't want to deal. Okay, well, that's not good. But if I say, I know I have an isolation trait, and I know that right now I'm being overburdened and I'm feeling overwhelmed and anxious, let me use that aspect that I have of myself to isolate, which I do very fucking well. Let me go isolate real quick. Because in 10, 15 minutes, I will be better. Recharge. So you're using your shadows. But if you don't get to know your shadows and you're all like, love, light, positivity, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get there. You're never going to understand. You're going to lie to yourself. Now you're a liar. Now you're lying to yourself about yourself, which is just energetically not in a place you want to be if you're trying to manifest anything. It's not the right mind state. All is mental, remember. Okay? So let's not spiritual bypass. I feel like we're getting better. You see a lot of people on the gram, the TikToks, and the YouTubes talking about shadow work and diving into the darker aspects of oneself and using that as applicable tool sets moving forward for your everyday life. Okay, yeah, sure, copy, I'm a bitch, but also I'm very assertive, and stepping into a room, I could move it the way I want with that AKA bitchy energy, right? Bitch or boss, I don't know. It depends on you. The game plan is to be somewhere in the middle, right? I don't want to be all the way leaning towards bitch, but I do want to keep that assertiveness because it behooves me and it benefits me in certain cases.
It's a balance.
It's all about balance. It's all about balance. It reminds me of, this is totally off topic, but not, but it reminds me of the Kinsey scale. So you may or may not be aware of the Kinsey scale, right? Another aspect of polarity, with all the bullshit going on about natural, non-natural, it's in your brain, it's a choice, whatever. Everybody's gay. So I just lost like all my followers off of that one. There's a psychological theory called the Kinsey scale by a individual who proposed the idea that homosexuality or heterosexuality or sexuality in general is what? A pole, a spectrum, okay? You're on this side, you're on this side, okay? There's people in between, okay? Some people come here and then they dabble over there and then they come back here and then they stay in the middle. You do what you want. It's a scale. It's an energetic scale of where your preferences may lie, right? It's fluid, like most other things in nature. So remembering that aspect, everybody has the ability to move through this polarity. And if you're not where you want to be, trusting that you can use tools to move yourself to the place that you do want to be. It's accessible. You're on the same line, the same energy, just a different frequency. Just a different frequency, guys.
Wasn't that a game as a kid?
What?
Anyone who likes this, come on this side. Anyone who likes this.
For sure, yes. They're trying to be very divisive with children's games and make you feel embarrassed so that if you're the only one who likes it, you're by yourself standing in the line. That's a fucked up game. Yeah, let's not play that with children anymore. Yeah, okay, so ways to integrate this, and I did mention like a shadow work journal, ways to integrate this work to be more aware of these aspects of yourself. Again, do yourself a little birth chart thing. Figure out who you are at the soul level. Figure out the pros and cons of each one of those aspects. Figure out your numerology. What's your day of birth number? What's your life path number? How do those apply to you? What are the negative aspects or the shadow elements of those characteristic traits? Same thing. I encourage you to take a personality test. Like a real one though, not those internet bullshits. Like what Harry Potter am I? Don't do that one. That might help, but I don't think that's gonna help too much. But otherwise, the best way to integrate this information is through journaling, right? That's why I do recommend like checking out some type of spiritual growth workbook or shadow work journal or something like that. I know I've seen them 1,000 places, they have them. Or just a regular fucking pen and paper when you're thinking to yourself, what do people say is really shitty about me? Let me just jot that down real quick. Pro and con list on yourself. Exactly. See what resonates, because people don't always know. People sometimes project and they're not really accurate about who you are. But see what resonates. Be real with yourself. Check yourself. Again, inner child work is really important for this type of stuff. Shadow work and inner child work go hand in hand because we was traumatized as children. Don't get that shit twisted. And a lot of the shadows happened when we were kids. So tapping back into the kid lightness, the happiness, the joy, the passion, what fulfilled you as a child. Like I used to love animals and magic. I was literally going to be a veterinarian and then I became a witch. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Those are the aspects of myself. But working on these different elements. Wait, what happened?
I was going to be a veterinarian.
You wanted to do that too? Yeah. We love animals. That's why. We still do. That's that number 7 energy. A fellow number 7. 2-5, right? 2-5. So a fellow number 7, you probably resonated with everything I fucking said. Yeah. But the nature, and that's why I said 7s have a tendency to get balanced off of just visiting nature real quick. We're Mother Natures. We love animals. We're caretakers to the
very nurturing.
Yeah, very nurturing. Not me so much, but there's different elements. You think I am? You think I'm nurturing, guys? You think I'm motherly and nurturing?
Yeah.
I feel more like auntie energy than mother. I'm not mother.
Yes, you are. At home too.
Am I mother? Oh my god. I don't think so. But anyways,
You solve problems. Mothers solve problems.
Do we?
Yeah.
I thought that's what aunts do. Mothers make problems.
No.
Don't tell her that.
Yes. They solve them.
Nah, they be solving them.
Yeah,
they be right. They be
and
right.
they're 7.
My mother's also a 7. Guys, help me. All right. So essentially, this is what I want. I'm giving you a homework assignment. I want you guys to figure out who you are at a soul level through whatever means it feels right to you. Myers-Briggs, personality, soul map with Alexis, I don't know. And dive into those aspects, that polarity nature of yourself. Apply that Hermetic principle to your own life to be a better person. To feel better, not to be a better person for other people so people can like you more, because that's not the fucking game plan. It's to live a better life. When we don't go against the grain of the universe, we have a better time of life. We just have a better go about it. You know what I'm saying? Things feel lighter, they feel better. Even when issues or obstacles or challenges come over us, we can deal with them better. We're able to rise to those challenges with grace, and usually we manifest powerfully when we're in this space as well. So,
and don't be mean to yourself.
Don't be mean to yourself. I have a whole 5-minute rant on TikTok about how not to be mean to yourself, and I'm screaming at you being mean to you in that video. So go watch that so you cannot be mean to yourself anymore. Let me be mean to you. It comes from a place of love, damn it. Yeah, I think that's it. Do we have any? Let me double check. Okay, perfect. If you guys have any questions about this, if you're catching this on the replay, or you want to chime in about how you're understanding your own polarity allowed for growth and spiritual evolution for yourself, drop them down below. Let me know. I always love to chat, come back to it. I think I'm good. I think we covered all the things. I really wanted to talk about the lights and shadows. So,
as my phone thing is the moon and the sun.
Polarity, baby. Just saying. All right. Thank you guys for joining me so much. This has been another episode of Moonlit Metaphysics. I'm Alexis, and I will see you next month. Oh, copy. By the way, forgot about that. I'm really bad at coming on live, so I have reduced it to once a month to ease my own suffering. No, this is not. I love doing this, guys, but life be lifing, and it's just, I find it easier to get it done on a monthly basis. So we're gonna do it on the Friday before the full moon. So happy full moon, happy crazy Mercury retrograde eclipse season. I can't even get into all that right now. There's a billion other YouTubers that you can watch about the details on that, but it is going on in the cosmos. Happy 420. Happy 420. That deserves a hand clap. But also happy Jupiter and Uranus conjunct, because that also is popping off, highlighted tomorrow, 420 especially. So happy those things. Happy Friday. Happy Venus Day. And peace and love to all you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back next month, Friday before the full moon. Bye.